everyone, it's Emily Graziano, and today I had a really interesting topic for a film video. So, I've been thinking lately, what films from my childhood have endured to my adulthood and what has not endured? Now, I think I've talked a little bit about what I think has endured on here as far as movies from my childhood, like, oh, Disney movies, Monsters Inc., Lilo and Stitch, the original OG Lilo and Stitch, May 2002. I went to go see Lilo and Stitch in the theaters 3 times. It was summer between kindergarten and first grade, just not to date myself, but because of that movie, I wanted to be a hula dancer. um, but anyway, Monsters Inc., Lilo and Stitch, Finding Nemo, trying to think what else. The Princess Diaries, the Pirates of the Caribbean movies came out when I was younger. Well, the last one came out when I was 21, but just different like Disney things that I've endured versus other Disney things that I've not endured in my life. Things that I've not endured from Disney are a lot of the Disney Channel things like Hannah Montana, which my dad, I thank God he prevented my sister and I from watching that. And like after Miley's first photo shoot scandal, she was in the nude sheet and my dad saw that and he's like, that's it, they're not watching it. And I never watched another episode after that. The Sweet Life of Zac and Cody, you know, Wizards of Waverly Place, Good Luck Charlie was probably the best one about all that, but I don't think I would sit down and rewatch that again. And then there's like some Nickelodeon stuff like iCarly, Victorious, The Amanda Show, and well, all those things are very iconic, and yes, I grew up with them, like all that. Yes, I grew up with like the latter part of all that because it ran from 1994 to 2005, I believe, and I was born in 96. So if I saw the older episodes, it was like on a rerun, like late at night at a sleepover or something, probably at the Cronin's house or something. And by the time like I could get into it, like all the OG legacy cast members were gone, and there were like the later cast members that the show ended with. Anyway, but I started thinking, what makes some things endure and what makes some not endure? And I have the final verdict on the High School Musical saga because I think I finally come to a conclusion about that, which I will talk about. But the reason why I got thinking about all of this is because there are TV shows from Australia that are for the like tween market, like maybe ages 9 to 12 or something, that I absolutely love, that I would watch today. My mom watched with me. She watched last summer, we watched the entirety of the TV show Blue Water High, which is about teenagers who go to this surf academy, and at the end of the year, one boy and one girl are going to earn a place on the pro circuit tour. 3 seasons, but different casts for each season. I was 27 years old. My mom, she's a grown adult in her late 50s watching it, and we loved it. For my mom, it got a little melodramatic at times, but I'm like, oh, but that's just the teen element of it. But we really loved the characters. We really loved the storylines, and I started to think, what makes this endure? Like, I started rewatching Blue Water High on my phone because it's on YouTube for free or whatever, with commercials, but I'm like, what would make me watch this, and what makes me not able to sit down and watch an episode of like The Sweet Life of Zac and Cody on Disney Plus and be just cringing? And I think I found the answer is that American media is very, very narcissistic when it comes to the teens and the characters and the writing. And then there's a lot of dated humor in the sense that it's a gimmick. It doesn't work. I've never been a person who likes gimmicky humor, like who likes like one trick where it's just like and it's done. I prefer actually humor that's very witty. I prefer humor that is very clever. I can't just go with stupid humor. And that's what infiltrates a lot of American media. And you only start to notice that when you watch foreign teen TV. And I'm talking like H2O, Just Add Water, is the crown jewel of tween TV in my life. I have the complete series on DVD sitting on the shelf over there. Dance Academy. Blue Water High, House of Anubis, which was partially produced by the UK. It was completely a UK crew, writers, producers, whatever. There was one American actress who was not even American. She was born in Spain, raised in Australia and Florida, but she was cast as the American, even though she was not American. The first 2 seasons are good. Season 3 sucks, but I've watched some episodes of the foreign TV show Das Haus Anubis, which is the German version, because I thought it would help me brush up on my German. And from the episodes that I found, like, I started finding myself, oh, I understood that. I picked out that whole sentence, so that's actually quite good. I've watched some... What other foreign TV? I did see the TV show Alien Serve Girls, although I don't think I'd watch it again. But I've noticed these TV shows produced in Australia mainly, the UK, they're so much better. They hold up better. They take a problem, a typical teenage problem, and they don't centralize it like, oh, my life is over. They make it very relatable to their friends or family, in the sense that this whole problem is not just revolving around me. It's affecting other people. Whereas here in America, on like iCarly, if Carly doesn't get what she wants, she's gonna throw a temper tantrum and convince Spencer that she's gonna get what she wants or else. And it's like, what makes these American TV shows so narcissistic? Which brings me essentially to what my final verdict on High School Musical is. And 2 summers ago, summer 2023, and I know it was summer 2023 because I did not do this in summer 2024 because I was helping to take care of my mom last summer with her hip replacement. And by the way, my mom is completely fine now. It's almost been a year since her hip replacement, and she's so much better for it. Thank you, God, for her healing, and thank you all for your concern. It brings me to my final verdict on High School Musical, which is I could not sit down and watch the trilogy without having the fast forward remote right next to me, because I'm like, oh, I don't want to, like, it just, I don't know if I've gotten older or I've seen the truth of it, or I'm starting to see what my mother always thought about it, which is this whole thing is stupid. Like, she watched the trilogy with my sister and I when we were younger, like, but as they were coming out, so it was like, okay, we're gonna watch the first one, then, you know, premiere night, the second one, she goes to see the third one, whatever. But, and she basically had the same opinion of after all 3 movies, like, oh, I endured that at least. I don't have to ever watch that again. She always thought it was stupid. But I'm like, but isn't it's actually a good story. But now, at the age of, let's see, so 2 summers ago, I was 26, and I'm like, I don't really care. Like, okay, so first of all, the main character, maybe I just don't appreciate the overall message that they're trying to give, that this new character who is a brainiac decides to audition for the winter musical, and she's going to get the part just because she wants to upstage the one who's been working so hard all her life. Like, I don't know, maybe it's just, I find it kind of narcissistic that I'm going to be the star no matter what, and I'm going to do whatever it takes to be that and screw everyone else. Whereas, like, take a situation like Blue Water High, there's only one boy and one girl who's going to win that spot on the pro circuit, yet they all realize, hey, we're all training together, we're all going to have to go through this, let's make the best of it. Like, I know High School Musical has We're All in This Together at the end, and that is an epic number. Like, and that's one thing I want to talk about is I can sit down and I can listen to the soundtrack because I think I love the soundtrack, and those songs, for better or worse, are some, like, they're part of my life overall. Now there are some songs that I'll say I'd never care to hear that again. Like, I never like Stick to the Status Quo. Well, I sing along to it, yes, but I don't think I'd replay it on repeat because, oh my gosh, I love it. But um I just think about it in a context of, well, for better or worse, these songs are a part of my life. And if someone asked me, Emily, would you sing High School Musical karaoke? I'd say yes, because it would just be a lot of fun. Disney karaoke is always a lot of fun. Um, and then I think about, do I really have an enduring admiration for Zac Efron? And the answer is actually no. Like, I don't know if I'm starting to see what my mother always saw, as I mentioned, or if I'm getting older, or I'm just now seeing it without the rose-colored glasses. Maybe it's a combo of all three. But I compare Zac Efron to, say, an admiration that I've held for like 20-something years, like Colin Firth. Colin Firth endures. He's multi-generational. He's a professional actor. He's charming. And you look at him in a production like Bridget Jones's Diary from 2001, and you say, oh, he was so charming. But then you see him in Kingsman, or, well, the first Kingsman, not the second Kingsman, or Mamma Mia, and you're like, oh, he's still charming. Like, he just has that enduring quality, which is why I love him, and a bunch of other women love him, and a bunch of legions of women across the world love him. But then I think about Zac Efron, and I'm like, would my little cousin, who's like 6, 7, is she gonna say, oh, Zac Efron's so cool? I don't think so. I don't think Zac Efron has that enduring quality, because I think his career is kind of in the toilet, honestly. And believe me, if my 12-year-old self would be like, no, I can't believe my 28-year-old self is saying that, but it's kind of true. He does one critically acclaimed thing, and then he goes back to his cycle of making like these stupid bro comedies or brainless comedies that have no enduring quality to them whatsoever, and they're really stupid, and you wonder why he decided to do this. And it's like, he's not really an actor. He may be, what's the word I'm looking for? He may be a performer and a star, there we go, but he's not really an actor in the sense of pushing himself out of that sphere of like stupid comedy. And again, comedy in America is very gimmicky, which is why that probably explains why I don't like a lot of modern day comedies from America. Like sitcoms in general. Like, I'm not really a sitcom person. But back to High School Musical. I think I see finally what my mother sees about High School Musical. Like, it's not good. The music endures, but I don't really care about the story anymore. I don't find these characters relatable. They don't really have each other's best interests at heart. I don't think it promotes a good message for the youth. I think it's like, I see it now in a different way, where I'm like, well, these kids, despite we're all in this together at the end of the first one, they don't really care about one another, and I don't see them having an enduring friendship, like, in a high school dynamic way. Like, they're all very selfish characters, and I think Disney Channel media is like one of the worst pieces of media from my generation. Like, I wouldn't recommend that young kids today, oh, watch what I did, because it doesn't hold up in terms of quality. It's going to teach you to be very narcissistic. Case in point, Hannah Montana, very narcissistic. Like, there's one pop star, and it's gonna be the Miley character, and whatever else happens to her best friend and her friends at school and her family, like, whatever. They're just there kind of for supporting laughs and characters. And then I look at something like, H2O, where no, though all those three girls were I mean, H2O, I think H2O stands up today because there was real drama, real relatable problems. It had that fun fantasy element of we're mermaids and we can swim underwater and we have a secret hangout at Mako Island. Like, I love H2O. I haven't really talked about my love for H2O, but OG fan, I have it, the necklace, the locket, yeah. But, I think about the difference, and I honestly don't like Disney Channel media in the sense of I kind of regret that I watched some of it. My dad was very wise to put his foot down and say we couldn't watch Hannah Montana. And overall, my crush on Zac Efron was for the moment. Like, I think his career is in the toilet, unfortunately. And I don't see him breaking that cycle. I do think it's sad that he's battled some addiction and had some issues with substances and all that. That's really horrible and sad. I'm glad he got over it. But I think it was very much in the moment. And like, I think about the actors that have endured in my life for at least 10 years that I say, oh my God, I love them. Robert Carlyle, Colin Firth, Jonathan Rhys-Meyers, even though I haven't seen him in something for a very long time. And then there's actors that I really love that are under the radar but are so good at their craft. Brett Climo, Nathan Page, they're both Australian. Colin O'Donoghue is Irish, and again, he's kind of now under the radar. So yeah, I think I've come to terms with things in my childhood that I've really endured, like H2O or Dance Academy, Blue Water High. I had wanted to watch Blue Water High for years and years and years, and finally last summer I'm like, hey, let's just watch it. Let's just watch it. Like, I discovered it on the internet when it was airing season 3 in Australia in 2008, and I'm like, wait, am I allowed to watch a show like that? They say the word hell in it, and I'm like, I thought that would make my mom mad, but in honesty, she didn't care. But at that age, I'm like, oh, I don't know if I can watch it. But I've come to terms with a lot of things. I like the music in a Disney movie will endure the music, but I cannot sit down and rewatch the trilogy. I can't, because it's just like nails on a chalkboard. I don't know if it's overexposure, or I just don't care anymore, or I see what my mother has always seen. But yeah, I think in coming older, you realize what is in the moment and what will endure with you forever. And High School Musical is not an enduring thing with me forever. And if that makes me an anomaly from my generation, then so be it. Like, I will belt out the songs very poorly, and I know the lyrics of the songs, but when I sit down to watch it, no. So that was just an interesting talk, a little bit about Disney, my love for Australian tween media, and I hope you found this video interesting. Thank you for watching. I'm Emily Graziano, and have a great day.